Rolling! Hey guys, I want to show you about your caregiver sitting you up in the chair, especially if they're like of a smaller stature. You want to make sure they don't sit you up super fast because they could lose their balance over backwards, or if they're not ready for your weight, you have to know how much you're pulling up somebody. I guess if the person weighs a lot, you may have to use a little bit of force, but with a smaller figured individual, you may not have to pull quite so hard. So you kind of want to, because we don't have any trunk control, so what you want to do, caregiver wise, you just want to make sure, I guess this is what I do, it's not a how-to video. I guess what you want to do is make sure you have a wide stance with your feet. Make sure you brace your legs either on their chair or on, the wheels or something stationary. Always make sure your wheelchair's locked, of course, or powered off or out of drive, because I've done it before where I was still in drive and they sit me up and my chair shoots forward and they're running me across the room trying to catch me, so don't do that. Also, when they sit up, maybe give it a test run first just to make sure that you are ready for the weight. And there's almost like a center of gravity. You want to try to find that center of gravity when you set them up, and they'll kind of balance almost themselves in a way. And that's kind of what I do. I just like, especially when I'm in the shower and I'm all soaked up or I'm all wet, they just kind of find that center of gravity where I'm kind of balanced myself, and you don't really have to like hold them or pull or push or anything. I'm just like sitting there. So what I do is I have them come up to me. I'll sit my chair forward. I'll push this out of the way just a little bit. I always turn my chair off. Make sure you do that. And then what they do is they reach across under my left armpit and they kind of use my other arm as a little bit of leverage. And when they sit me up, you'll kind of see how that's done. If you want to come over here, and then you just reach across my chest. Every chair is different, so you just kind of want to make sure you're aware of all the controls and everything are. But go ahead, reach across. She'll reach across this one. Everybody's different. You just want to get used to what works for you. This is how I do it. You reach under. I kind of hook this arm, and she has my right shoulder. And then you go ahead and sit me up. And sometimes I use my head as like a, I don't know, whatever, leverage, I guess. Go ahead. Ready? And I kind of help a little bit. And like there's my center of gravity. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hear me, but I sit up like this as they fix my shirt. And then when I'm done, you don't want to just let them go and wish them luck. You just kind of help them back and just kind of sit them back. And then like I spasm, like you can kind of see me spasm. So you always want to make sure they're not going to spasm. You want to make sure they're not going to fall over. So when you sit them back, just kind of make sure you got a hold of them, like they're not unbalanced or anything like that. And also I'm going to show you what I do when I pull myself left or right in my chair. I usually sit back so I get a little bit of weight off from my butt, so it's a little bit, so most of my weight will be back here. And then what they're going to do, either they use one hand on my one hip and like one hand on my jeans, which are 9 times out of 10 I'm wearing jeans. So what they do, and I don't pull super hard because 1, I'm not very big, 2, I don't want to end up way over here or off my chair. And sometimes I'll put my armrest up depending on who's helping, who's doing what. Some can do it with the armrest down. But what I do is just grab my pants, and you can put one hand on the other side. And I do little tugs. That way I don't over tug and like end up way over here. Go ahead. And they kind of just bump me over just a little bit, and I kind of help out. Go ahead. Sometimes I'll throw my arms up just to get a little more weight. Does that look all right? It'll look a little more centered. So. Yeah. And that's kind of how I do that. Same with my jeans. I don't do a big hard tug like that. What I do is kind of like a shimmy, because there you go. And then this one, Well, you don't do both. That's fine. With my jeans, I don't like to over tug. I guess I'm particular in that way. I it's easier to pull them down out of my crotch area than to pull them back up, because I have to like shove some slack up under each leg. That way when you're pulling from the back, there's slack you're pulling from. So tugging them down is a lot easier than tugging them up, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to be way tight in my crotch when I do get in my chair and I have to tug them back down. But yeah, just kind of be careful, because with quads and a lot of pairs, we don't have a lot of trunk control. So when you're setting them up, just go slow, go easy, get to know their center of gravity, get to know your stance on your feet, stuff like that. You don't want to like over tug, and you don't want to end up on the floor. That's never fun. Been there, done that. So yeah, just go slow regardless of what you're doing, whether it's either in the bed, the chair, Hoyer lift, whatever it is you're doing. Move slowly, move safely. I guess it was more of a how-to video than not. But if you liked the video, or if you hated it, give it a thumbs up anyway. I sure appreciate that. It lets the world know I exist. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified of my most recent uploads and all my paralyzed shenanigans. And Gordo says hello. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.